It's Gennady Golovkin, GGG, going up against David Lemieux for the Middleweight World Championship Unification title. That's Saturday, October 17th. It's at Madison Square Garden, and it'll be broadcast live on HBO.
You see all the belts. Each belt signifies, is very meaningful in the sport of boxing. It means you are the best. David Lemieux just won the IBF title. Gennady has the WBA Super Championship, the IBO Championship, and also the WBC Interim Championship. To say a few words on behalf of the WBC, who also we have a great co-feature that we've announced, is Chocolatito Gonzalez, who's a WBC flyweight champion. He's going to be fighting against Brian Valoria, who's also a former champion. And that's a tremendous co-feature fight. So it's just added value for the fans that night. So to say a few words on behalf of the WBC, and we have a great string of middleweight championship fights coming up. October 10th is supposed to be Andy Lee. October 17th, David Lemieux against Gennady Golovkin, and then November 21st is just announced Cotto versus Canelo. So it couldn't be a better time now for the middleweight division, with all the champions fighting and the winners mandated to fight each other. The winner of this fight between Triple G and David Lemieux is mandated to fight the winner of Cotto against Canelo, and the fans couldn't be better. I mean, it couldn't have a better opportunity right now for the middleweight division. So I'd like to introduce Jill Diamond on behalf of the WBC.
Hello, everybody. The World Boxing Council believes that every fighter that steps in the ring is a hero, but very few of them get a chance to fight for a world championship, even fewer for the green belt, let alone all these belts. So one thing I know for sure, that no matter who wins on the 17th, the fans will win, because these gentlemen will rock the ring. So the reason I'm here, though Tom took away my speech, is to read an announcement from Mauricio Suleiman, the president of the WBC. The winner will have the right to fight the winner of the great fight between Cotto and Canelo for the undisputed WBC championship. The WBC wishes to congratulate K2, HBO, Madison Square Garden, Eye of the Tiger, and Golden Boy, for setting the stage for so many great fights to come. Thank you.
At this point, I'd like to introduce, representing our co-promoter, Golden Boy Promotions. They couldn't have had a better representative here than Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins holds the record for the number of middleweight championship defenses, 20 middleweight championship defenses. That in itself is a historic accomplishment. I was here when Bernard fought Felix Trinidad here in Madison Square Garden, in one of the most anticipated middleweight fights at that time. So it's my pleasure, and Bernard will introduce his whole side. It's my pleasure to bring up the great Bernard Hopkins.
First, how everybody doing? This is really surreal. When I spoke to a couple of reporters earlier about this middleweight unification, because rarely in boxing, unfortunately, we don't have these type of events where you can say that one guy in the division is going to represent that division. And it takes a long time for that to happen, and it's here. We have it again in Madison Square Garden. So to be able to be here, as I use the word surreal, not only as a partner of Golden Boy, but also as someone that left his DNA, literally, in history here in this building. And as Triple G maul down the guys he fights as he steps in, and I'm a big fan of his. And also, Lemieux, our guy, has been doing his part in the middleweight division. I can say proudly that the middleweight division has been left in great hands, and I'm proud of that. One thing I want everybody to understand about fighting the best, as we at Golden Boy, myself, Oscar De La Hoya, and everyone that's outside of us, the networks, HBO, And you know what? The fans and also spoke loud, and some, if not most of the reporters, to recognize that we said that. Now we want to show y'all. And this is one of the process of showing you. And that's what I'm proud of, is that we boldly went out and said that's what we want to do. But normally things happen in other situations where it's just all talk. So here we are, and I'm proud to deliver, and proud to deliver at HBO and also at Golden Boy this particular fight. So as I thank K2 Promotion for not only being willing to put their guy in with our guy and vice versa, Golden Boy, and also Eye of the Tiger Promotion. We all wanted to get this done, and we're here. And so when the middleweight division that I left in the great hands of these two fighters, to me, they have the baton to take it to where their legacy starts in October in that ring. And to be there to witness that, knowing that this division, the middleweight division, is the division that built my legacy. Yeah, I stopped over at light heavyweight, but the middleweight division is the division I made who I am today. And so, as I like to thank everyone that understand the history of middleweight division, from the Ray Robinsons, from the Ray Leonards, from the marvelous Marvin Hagler, to the Philly middleweights, and of course, myself. This is something that's really, really, to me, special. And so, thanks to two of the guys that willing to fight each other for their reasons. Also, I like to say to people that when you have the knockout ratio of both of these fighters, you don't have time to go get your popcorn when they're announcing this fight. No, seriously. You don't have time to sit there and say, look, you know, I want to come as... No, this fight here, I don't see going a distance. Obviously, I want my guy to be the one who's raised his hands down. But this is that type of fight where when you're dealing with firepower, you can... See, Triple G said in his interview, I was ear hustling. He said, oh, it might go 12 rounds. Hey, listen, he might be right, but wrong on who's going to not go, but he might be right. Who knows? This is that type of fight that you know it's going to be fireworks.
And when you look at the style of both boxers, you can be sure that's going to be very explosive. It's going to be an amazing fight. We are right now in an era where a lot of champions try to escape from real challenge. And I'm very, very proud to be part of a team and with that young gentleman who's not afraid, who want to fight the best all the time. And this is truly what boxing needs right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I have to say both fighters are not afraid. I mean, getting in the ring, getting hit by one of these guys this guy's trying to hit you in the jaw with a punch like that. It takes a lot of courage. Talking about courage, you know, I've been working with David for a few years now. Once we met, I had a feeling that we've known each other for a lifetime. I have the utmost respect for this athlete. You see him in the ring, you see him perform. I see him on a day-to-day basis. I see him in the gym. This is not a guy that cheats. He never cheats himself. He never cheats anybody. He's going to bring his heart and soul, put it in the ring, and come out with all these belts. They look really, really good here. We're very confident. I'm very proud of what he's doing. We're going to do our homework, and believe me, this guy is going to give you something you haven't seen before. You'll be talking about him for many, many years to come. I want to introduce to you David Lemieux.
Wow, what an honor it is to be here. Who would have thought a small kid like me smoking cigarettes at 9, 10 years old would one day fill up the Madison Square Garden. I came a long way to be where I am. I worked hard, and I'm extremely proud to be here. to be in front of you all, for you all to listen, the world to be watching, to be doing historical events already with pre-sale and everything, and with this fight against Golovkin, for sure, you can expect what you see. Two hard punchers going at it. The fight speaks for itself. I don't have to add too much sugar on the coating. It's gonna be an explosive fight, but a lot of you are going to have to be ready for change in the pattern. This is what's fascinating about boxing. 1 second you think things are going great for something, the next it didn't go the way you expected it. Change of patterns. You have to be ready for anything in boxing. I'm ready to take the belt and to be the unified middleweight champion. That's why I took the fight, because I'm very aware of my abilities. I'm very aware of Golovkin's abilities. I respect him a lot. He's a great fighter. He has done a great mark in the middleweight division. But I'm not here to be his friend. I'm here to be his opponent. And on the 17th, we're going to fight. There will be blood. Yes, it's going to be an exciting event. And I'm very confident in my abilities. I want to thank everybody. I have a tremendous team around me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for, starting from the basics. My parents, my parents have always been there for me. I'm extremely grateful for them in my life. My brother, my sister, my family, Camille, Mark Ramsey, all the team I have around me. They're extremely important in my life, in my everyday life, not just as boxing, but also as great people. I respect good human nature, and this is what I've found over the years. In search, I exposed a lot of positive energy, and when there was a lot of changes to be made, the negative energy, just faded away over time, and I brought the best team around me to also get now the best results in life. I got the world title, and now I'm ready to get many other titles, given the best of my performance. It's a great event. Extremely proud to be here, and hopefully you will experience history in the making on October 17th. I love New York, love Montreal. Thanks for the support. Thank you, world. Hope all of you will be watching. We will be giving our heart out on October 17th. Thank you very much.
That's the epitome of a championship team here, that Camille, Bernard, Golden Boy, Mark Ramsey, and David, they put him in a position to challenge for the IBF title in his last fight. He won it in very impressive fashion, and now having him in this unification fight, they really have to be committed. So give one more time a round of applause for David Lemieux and his team. I'd like to introduce who's kind of been the architect of taking Gennady after his stellar and successful amateur career in the mountains of Big Bear, where he has his world-famous Summit high-altitude training camp. He's the one that really instilled what's now become as a famous term to describe Gennady's style, as the Mexican style, is based on the great Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. Such aggression and power, overwhelming opponents, 20 knockouts in a row. The architect behind that is Abel Sanchez.
To take one of Tom's words, finally. As a fight fan, I want to thank Golden Boy, K2, and HBO, because this is the fight that we've been asking for. These kind of fights are the ones that we've been asking for. I look forward to having the best seat in the house, ringside, to witness history. I look forward to matching wits with Mark Ramsey, who's a great coach. We start training camp on Monday coming up, 1 week from now. I know David's going to be in great shape because Mark is a great coach. I know that David has evolved a lot since his setback 3 or 4 years ago because of Mark. So because of that, we're definitely going to try to add some wrinkles to our game to be able to be successful on the 17th. Thank you to everybody for coming out. We look forward to a great night.
I'd just like to introduce a few members of Gennady's team. Whenever a boxer is successful and has had so many appearances on TV and title defenses, he's always in the spotlight, or I'm in the spotlight here standing in front of you. But it really takes a well-organized team to get him to this point. So Max Herman is one of Gennady's managers. Oleg Herman is also a manager for Gennady. Roland Simoneschi is a very close friend of Gennady's, and he's the one that introduced a lot of us. And Erica St. Philip, who works with me since our first promotion in 2004 for the heavyweight championship back then. She's been with us for 11 years, so really appreciate the entire team. With that, everyone said what they wanted to say. There's not much else to say except for it's my honor and pleasure to introduce Gennady Triple G Golovkin.
Good afternoon, everybody. Wow, very excited to be here again. Right now, I understand my situation. First of all, thanks to my team, to promotions, amazing deal. Thank you to Golden Boy. Thanks to K2. This is biggest present for everybody, not just for us, not for me, just for me and for David. No, just fans, for TV, for history. Thank you very much, special for HBO Pay-Per-View. This is the biggest step right now for my career. And of course, Madison Square Garden. I love this family. This is not team, this is family. This is history, amazing history. Amazing history for everybody, not just for sport, not just for boxing, basketball, hockey. Oh, it's amazing time for us. I think we have a lot of time for great performance. I respect David. I like his style. He's a very strong guy, very dangerous guy. This is true. I think it's very interesting fight. It's my motivation. I'm a little bit scared. This is my motivation. It's I think very interesting for everybody. I promise amazing show. Not just my fight. Amazing event. Second fight, and everybody is wow. It's great. Champions. Welcome to Madison Square Garden, October 17th. I promise amazing show. Thank you very much.
Just let me ask, are there any changes? We have Danny Garcia and them running around with chickens. Any changes in your camp?
Oh, absolutely not. That's something that they feel necessary to do, but I think it's more of a hype or just to be different. I think his father is kind of a strange guy, and he's doing stuff that brings attention to them.
Okay, Doc Stanley on the Kristal Hart Show. Finally,
yes. Tom stole my word, but if you remember that movie Armageddon, when he says finally we get somebody that I'm not going to talk about David, I'm going to talk about these people. Somebody that's willing to negotiate and sit down at a table and iron things out so that a fight that the fans are looking for, a fight that the fans have been expecting to happen.
first pay-per-view fight, Madison Square Garden, unification of the middleweight champion of the world. Doesn't get any better than that, April.
No, we've been asking for that. We've been working hard for that. The Mecca of boxing, New York. Are you kidding me? That's a dream. That's a dream that 5 years ago we never thought would have happened.
Last question. What do you do now to keep him from not looking a little past this toward Cotto Alvarez?
I'm going to work his butt off in the gym. He's not looking past anybody. This is we can't get to the next step unless we were able to be successful in this step, as in all the other fights before that. The reason we're here is because we've been consistent on what we're doing. So I'm just going to work him like I always do and make sure that the distractions are not there. My gym is a closed gym, so it's easy to do that. It's easy for him to keep his mind on what he's doing.
the mentor, the soul, the inspiration, one of the greatest trainers of all, and Manuel Stewart, Angelo Dundee, Bowie Fisher, Abel Sanchez. Hey, Abel, you'll have him, Abel?
You know, I am sure that those great trainers are looking down on us, and those great trainers were an inspiration to me. Man Stewart was a very good friend of mine. I hope that we're doing all the teachings justice. I hope that we're doing all the things that they would have done, but that's how we're going to keep evolving the sport.
Okay, I'm going to say this to you, and what's said about Joe Louis. You're credit to your race, the human race. Love you, baby. Thanks, Abel.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I was always in the streets fighting. My neighbor was a boxer. So one day he sees me smoking a cigarette at 9 years old on a balcony. He's like, I gotta do something with this. He's coming home with the cops all the time. He introduced me to the gym. It was close to my house. There was a gym. I love fighting. I came in, I wanted to fight with everybody. I got thrown out. I kept coming. I fell in love with the gym. So I just kept coming back to the gym. That's how it started. I fell in love with the sport.
Would you say that boxing really turned your life around?
I turned my life around, but boxing was a very, very good gateway. Gave me discipline, gave me a place to belong, a group, discipline, and boxing did help a lot. Yes.
If you didn't turn your life around, where do you think you would have been?
I don't know. I can't answer that question because I would have been nowhere close to where I am today.
During October 17th, you're going to be headlining at Madison Square Garden. Is this the pinnacle for you? Is this what you had always dreamed of, or was this something completely unexpected?
I'm not a big dreamer. I'm a realist. I work hard for what I do. I had this vision since I was 12 years old. My teacher asked me, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I wanted to become world champion." She's like, "You have a plan B?" I'm like, "No, I don't have a plan B." At 12 years old, and here I am today.
Sam, can you talk about how important it is to be fighting in Madison Square Garden?
It's the mecca of boxing. It's a huge honor for me to be here. It shows I've done a lot of hard work, a lot of proper investments in my life. To be here today. It didn't come by luck. I'm not here because I was pampered, and I worked hard to be here. I did a lot of changes in my life, and I'm ready to shock the world on October 17th.
Are you feeling a little lack of respect here? You have just many knockouts of Triple G. You've been fighting longer than him, and everybody's talking about Triple G. You're a champion too.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't really listen to the hype and stuff like that. But on October 17th, I will do whatever I have to do to make sure I'm the new face. I've always had to work extra hard in life to get where I want, and I'm used to it. It's not a problem for me. I know where I will be. That's the only thing.
Prediction: knockout or victory? Either way.
Either way, I can't predict. It's such a high-end fight. He's a very good fighter. It could go to distance, but I doubt it. It will not go to distance. There is going to be a lot of blood in this fight. There's going to be knockouts.
It's really special now, pay-per-view fight, first pay-per-view fight. That's got to be Madison Square Garden, pay-per-view fight, a chance to win the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. Talk about that.
What more can a fighter ask, right? Things went fast. I won the world title, and I got the biggest opponent in my division right away. It shows also my character. I'm ready to face anybody. I'm not afraid. My last opponent, they didn't want to face him. It landed on me. I got him. I destroyed him. It's going to be a similar outcome in this fight. It's going to be a lot of changes in a lot of people's eyes. Thank you.
With us, Destinio Lois Jr. from Black Star News. We have GGG, Gennady Golovkin, going up against David Lemieux from Montreal, Canada. And we're just going to get his thoughts. They both have great punching power, both a lot of knockouts, definitely a lot of knockouts. And tell me how you see this fight going.
Well, surprisingly enough, I told folks, this is, to me, evaluating them and knowing them for the last few years, I see it as a pick-em fight. Why? I don't know who's going to score the first knockout punch. Golovkin has a tendency to start off slow. David Lemieux is a rush train. It's a runaway freight train, and he's on top of you all of the time. I saw it as a pick and fight simply because of the fact that I give David Lemieux the first 5-6 rounds to pound and maybe knock out Triple G. If that doesn't happen, well, then Triple G is going to wear him down, wear him out, and knock him out in the later rounds. That's how I see it. This fight is not going to go the distance. When I first heard the announcement of this fight, it shocked me because, as a historian, it reminded me of an old decades ago fight, a trilogy between Tony Zale and Rocky Graziano. Those 3 fights ended in knockouts because those guys were as vicious as I see Lemieux and Triple G. And it's scary because this is really the biggest fight of the century, in my opinion, overshadowing, surprisingly enough, Kristal, overshadowing Miguel Cotto and Canelo Alvarez, who are going to fight also for unification of the title.
And the winner of that fight, and in this fight, they'll face each other. And as Bernard Hopkins said in the press conference, it could be quick, so don't blink or go get your popcorn or anything, because you have 2 power hitters here. It may go the distance, but it may not.
And the other thing, too, is pay-per-view, and folks are still burnt and shying away from pay-per-view because, in my opinion, the fiasco with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. So now they're trying to bring the folks back with a reasonable price.
Yeah, I think, what, $49.95?
$49.95.
Yeah, so that's it.
And they're going to get more than their money's worth because these 2 guys are legit. And they take no prisoners, so to speak. And it's going to be a war. It's going to be entertaining. And then on top of that, they were smart enough, the promoters, Golden Boy, to bring in one of the most dynamic little Latino kids from Nicaragua, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. This kid is 43 and old with 37 knockouts. He's a flyweight champion of the world. He's on the underneath card, so you can imagine how attractive this card is going to be. Lemieux and Triple G could fight by themselves with nobody else there, and it is attractive enough. But they bolstered that fight by bringing in monsters like Chocolatito Gonzalez.
Okay, so once again, Saturday, October 17th,
Absolutely.
either on HBO, Madison Square Garden, and hey, we'll see you at the fights.